So let's start. And let me and Vinayak introduce ourselves before we actually dive into, the session today. So, hi guys, I am Nehal. I am a family business connection based out of Jaipur. We have family businesses in hospitality, real estate, and education. And I'm a second generation entrepreneur. That means all of those businesses were started by my father, and now I'm the next person to step in. I have graduated from King's College London, after which I was working with, the big one of the big fours for a span of 2.5 years. It was an amazing opportunity. Got to work with some amazing people, with some really, really fancy names. But eventually, I decided to come back to my city and help my parents grow this business that is, that has given me the lifestyle that I today lead. It is something that I very dearly appreciate. It is something that I really want to help grow. And we'll get to, the story of why, I started working in the family business and all of those things. I also serve as an independent director for public listed companies in India. And me and Vinayak are co-founders of Kin and Kith. And we'll get to a little bit about Kin and Kith very soon. But I'll give Vinayak the room to introduce himself and then we'll proceed. Vinayak, you're not audible.
Thank you so much, Nehal, for the lovely introduction. And I would like to introduce myself as well. Hi, guys. My name is Vinayak, and I'm based out of Jaipur as well. I am an engineer, and that is what I'm being told that you guys are doing your engineering, and triple IT is mostly where engineers actually show them smiling. And I would love to see a lot of more people smiling with their cameras on, and it'll be a great session. Believe me, engineer to engineer, बहुत मजा आने वाला है ना? इतना बहुत टाइम से मजा नहीं आया क्योंकि कोविड चल रहा है, हम हॉस्टल में नहीं थे, but it's going to be a great session. So I did my engineering from BITS Pilani, and then I did my MBA from NMIMS, and after that I joined my family business, which is into silver jewelry or manufacturing and export. And facing all the problems and all the good experiences in my family business, we realized, me and Nehal, that we need to help a lot of entrepreneurs in their own journey in family businesses and different types of journeys they go through. So we started Kin and Kith. Nehal is going to tell us more about Kin and Kith, but we are going to have an amazing session today. You're going to learn a lot about family businesses. How can you carve out your journey in that family business? Are you ready for your family business or not? Is the biggest question that you will answer today. And that is it about me and what are we going to learn today. Let's hear more about Kin and Kith from Nehal.
Thank you so much, Vinayak. So, guys, Skin and Kit is a market leading family business education platform. We train next generations of all age groups depending on their journey, where they are, the different support that they would need. We have faculty from all over the world with a collective experience of over 100 plus years, and we've trained, 200 plus next gens. But all of these things, are too technical, and I don't want to get into the technical side of things. I want to ask you, and I want you all to think about why family businesses have taken the center stage. Why is it an important conversation to have? And why should you train yourself to be better entrepreneurs, even if you're joining your family businesses, right? It is something that time and again we see that if you have a family business, people think it's a life that you can live easily. You have everything kind of on a silver platter for you. But today, through the session, we'll talk about a lot of different things, and how that might not be the case. There's a lot of opportunity, but at the same time, it's a very difficult task to do. So I'm going to hand over to Vinayak, who's going to talk through some statistics and actually give us a fair picture of what the face of family businesses look like in India. Vinayak, over to you. Vinayak, you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nehal. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction about Kin and Kith. I hope everyone can see my screen and the presentation. If I
Yes.
can get a hand raise from everyone, and you can, yes, you can raise a hand like that as well. And also, if I can know before I start that how many people in the room have a family business. So if you have a family business, raise your hand in front of the camera, or just click on the raise hand button. Okay. Do we have anyone else? All right. So what do we think of when we hear family businesses? When I was in my engineering college, मेरे को ना बहुत लोग बोलते थे यार family business है, वो तो small होगा, कितना बड़ा होगा, इतनी बड़ी बड़ी companies हैं, old fashioned है, organized नहीं है, तरीके नहीं है. It is unprofessional, and there are many things that you don't do which are there in a corporate, and a lot of things. And it is paternalistic कि यार मम्मी पापा ने जो कर दिया, जो चलता आ रहा है वही चलता रहेगा, and it is not what it should be. So there are a lot of preconceived notions that our friends have that actually धीरे धीरे करके in our subconscious mind start building up a negative approach towards family businesses. But I will now show you some statistics of telling you what family businesses really hold and what they really are. So when you see family businesses, and when you see the stock exchange, top 50 of 50 top 50 stock exchange companies, 50% out of those are family controlled. They're family businesses. If you look at the top 100, there are 75% family controlled companies from 650 million plus MSMEs. MSMEs, I know college में हो, maybe आपको पता ना हो. MSME is micro, small, medium enterprise, basically, which is that there are certain turnovers. So mostly all family businesses from the manufacturing and the service sector. So there are more than 65 crore family businesses and counting, and which overall contribute to 79% of India's GDP. So now you know that how much value your family business holds, and now you can give an answer to the person who tells you that family business boring hai or unorganized hai. कोई बात नहीं, हम आगे लेके जाएंगे ना next gen. And when I show you these statistics, that when the red is family business and blue is non-family business, so when you look at sales growth, year on year, 23% is what happens in family businesses. Stockholder return more than others. And even return on investment is way more than non-family businesses and family businesses. So why is all of this happening and still family businesses are failing? So we learn a lot more about everything. And there are many things that we learn. And the biggest activity that we'll do is, which requires a lot of interaction from you guys with us, is we'll make you prepared and ready for you joining your family business, and see if you are today ready to join your family business or not. So if we can get a lot of interaction is a really good point to know right now. Then only will this activity be successful. Uh, because this activity can only be successful if you interact and you're honest with yourself. So honestly, if I can see only like 4 screens with cameras on. So if you really want value out of this session, please turn on your camera. Otherwise, there is no point of you actually being here and only listening, because other than if you don't interact, you will not get an answer to if you're ready to join your family business or not. And we will actually make you do a very good activity around it. So I'm going to start. There are just some rules that we follow before we start. They're just simple. So let us help you find your answers. If you should join a family business or not, just grab a pen and paper and keep it. After you've grabbed your pen and paper, just click on the raise hand button and we'll know. And you need to just answer a few questions to yourself. You don't need to answer them to me. If you're today, just answer everything to yourself honestly. You will know the answer to if you should join your family business or not. So the biggest question that anyone your age, because I also had it, I joined my engineering when I was 17 and I graduated when I was 21. So I had the biggest question when I was a 19-year-old was that if I should join my family business or not. And I could not get an answer to that. But today, all of you sitting over here who really wants an answer, if you do this actively and honestly with yourself, you'll get an answer. So let us start. And yes, we'll discuss the results in the end, and you will get all the answers to a lot of questions that people your age have. So Manan has raised his hand that he's ready with a pen and paper. Who else is ready with a pen and paper, if I can know?
Aditya is ready. I can see.
Okay.
Okay, Prateek is
I
ready.
cannot see
Amazing.
many people. So Nehal, you'll have to tell me if you
Yeah,
are ready. Yeah.
every a lot of people are ready. I see five
Okay, done.
people giving us a heads up. Yeah,
Amazing. So let us start.
let's start.
So I'm going to ask Nehal a question. She's going to answer it. And we're going to learn how are we going to do this activity. So Nehal, what is motivating you to join your family business?
Well, I really want to work for myself and not for someone else. So I think family business is an amazing way to go forward. What about you, Vinayak? Why do you want to join your family business?
Nehal, if I can be honest to you and everyone, I think I don't have any other option. What do I do if I don't join my family business? Where do I go? I don't see myself getting a very good package after my engineering. What do I do? So I see that the family business is the only best option available to me right now, where I can learn and all. So I don't know what to do. So yeah. So did yes. So did you see that we had Nehal really wanted to join our family business, and I am joining my family business as an obligation. And there is nothing which is solid that is motivating me to join. I don't even have an interest. So what happens is we'll now write for ourselves if you want. What is the reason that you want to join your family business? And we'll give you exactly 20 seconds to answer that. And I think Ravi, you're launching polls. Yeah. So launch poll number one.
I don't think we have to launch it right now, Vinayak. Let's wait for some people to answer and then reveal categories and then launch the poll.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, I was just checking if the poll is launched because I
Yeah.
didn't know. I can't see anything.
So guys, be honest to yourselves. No one else can see your answers. This is what in case you know about your business, whatever little you know, really think about it, get in the zone. Sometimes, we see answers that we've never heard of, that we have never even thought of. But there are situations that exist for everyone. You don't have to discuss it with us. We are not going to be asking any of you. But if you know your motivation, your reason to join, jot that down. Okay, and as we move forward, you will realize that if you're actually good to join your business right now, or should you wait for a couple of years, or you should work on some things.
Yeah. So
So
let's see. Yeah. So we have two categories, and now if your answer matches a category, you answer, just write A next to your answer, and if it matches the B category, you write B next to your answer. Now what does A seem like? You want to work for yourself, you see it as an opportunity, you're really inspired by your family business, and a lot of things that will inspire you to join your family business, and you're already motivated. B is where what I was, where I said that my parents want me to join. I don't have any other option. I did not get a job, or I might not get a job. I don't have any idea what I need to do. So whatever your answer was, just write A or B next to it, and be honest to yourself. No one will know your answer. You will in the end know if you're ready to join or not. Yeah. If everyone has answered, we'd like to just see what your answers are. Nobody will know whose answer is what. So Ravi, if you can launch poll number one, and you just mark A or B next to your uh, in the poll. Everyone, Ravi, can you please launch the poll?
guys, to
Okay, I
access
see.
the poll, you might have to go to this activities icon, which has like a triangle, a square, and a circle. Click that, go to polls. Once you open, that is where you can see the polls.
Bottom right, yes.
Yes, amazing. I see some people have voted. Okay. And be honest to yourselves, guys. There's no judgment here.
Neil, can you see the answers?
Yes.
Okay, because I cannot.
Okay. I'll let you know. So we have around 8 people who've already answered, waiting for more people to answer. Okay.
Okay, we'll close the poll in 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds, and move forward. So what is the poll looking like? A more, B more. What is it?
We are pretty neck to neck as of now. Only 9 people have replied. Guys, I see 33 people on this call, and only 9 people have voted. So, do you want me to explain how to kind of vote on the poll? Because this is an activity we'll be doing, throughout the session. It's very important for you to get it right.
Yeah.
So go to the activities column on the bottom right. It has a triangle, a square, and a circle. Click that. It's going to open an option menu. Select polls there, and that's where you're going to see the options. Fair. It's pretty neck to neck. I think I'll just end this poll. It's pretty neck to neck till now, Vinayak. We have
Okay.
almost equal number of people opting for A and B.
So it's okay if people don't want to vote. I think we'll do justice with the 9 people who really want to vote it, and we'll vote for the other polls as well, which is coming. So honestly, if I can tell you, just keep your answer to yourself, right? Just know that what is your answer, and we'll move forward. Yeah. So if we can move to the second question, are you ready for the commitment? So family business is a full-time thing, and you need to be ready for a like how you get yourself ready for a job, 9 to 5 job. It is not typically that. It is where you have to be present even if it is 12 in the night. Your family life and business life will be intertwined. Your personal identity will be tied to your work, and then it would be you going everywhere, and not like a 9 to 5 job. People don't leave family jobs easily, and the commitment feels more personal, and you would probably remain in the company for many more years. So if you're ready for the commitment, I'm going to choose the, I'm going to, now you know your answer if you're ready for the commitment, the kind of commitment family businesses need. So if you're ready for that commitment, look for the answer that matches the category and then answer it. So I'm going to launch A and B. So if you're excited for the hard work, you're ready for the commitment and all of those things, just mark A next to your answer. And if you're unsure that you'll not be able, you just don't even know right now if how much commitment will be needed and all those things, just write B next to your answer.
Let's launch the polls and
Yes.
see.
Ravi, please launch poll number one again.
It's poll number 2 now. Yeah, it's
No,
changed.
no, no, it's poll number one only. We'll just, okay, got it. Sorry. Okay. I expect 9 votes at least this time.
So 6 people have already voted, and good to know that a lot of people are ready for the commitment. But some people have other priorities. It's okay for people to want to do, I myself worked for a corporate before I joined my family business. So it's completely all right to not want to do your family business immediately. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Let's move forward. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third question is, do you have significant exposure outside? So Nehal over here worked for a corporate, as she told us before joining her family business, and she realized that that exposure is really helping us these days. But like in my case, many of the next gen members we meet, we advise them to, like in my case, I did not have any significant exposure. I had a lot of internships that I did, full-time opportunities as an intern during my engineering also and my MBA also, but I did not have a full-time job opportunity somewhere. So both of us had our own journeys, but I had a lot of exposure talking to a lot of people and interacting with a lot of company, freelancing a lot of projects and a lot more things. And even with my family business, I had a lot of exposure because I had always been a part of it. So that actually did not matter for me. But a lot of people don't have a family business exposure and they need outside exposure. So you need to answer for yourself if you have significant exposure or not, basis on these categories, and then answer for yourself. If you think that no, I plan to work before I join my business or get exposure, you go in A. You worked in family business as a child like I did, A. Your education is giving you enough exposure because of all the internships, A. But if you directly want to join and get exposure with time, choose B. You don't think you know what exposure you need, just don't choose B. uh, you will learn yourself. You think that all of those things that resonate with B, just choose B and be honest to yourself. And then let's launch poll number 3 and see what people are answering. If you have any doubts, just raise your hand, ask on the chat, unmute yourself, speak up. It's completely fine.
Guys, I think there seems to be a little confusion. So the question is not, do you want to get or are you willing to get significant exposure? It is instead, do you already have significant
Yes.
exposure? So answer accordingly because I see a lot of people voting for A, and if I'm not wrong, you guys are undergrad students. So not sure how much experience would you guys have as of now. Okay, more people are understanding the question now. So I see some B's rolling in. Good.
Thank you, Nehal, for clarifying.
Great. Okay, again, we're pretty neck to neck on this.
Okay, so let's go ahead and see the
Yeah.
fourth question. So, are the personal relationships among the family leaders healthy enough? So, if I can explain that a little, family owners don't need to always love each other. They need to make good decisions together always. But so, for example, like you must have seen in your family that dinner table conversations are generally always about family businesses and what business decision has to be made. So these are all good evidences of showing how good rapport is, and they're always discussing. But can your relations in this process withstand the pressures of working together also when you join? Because you're going to be a new person, new perspective in that dinner table conversation. If your relationship with your parents, father or mother or relatives who are there in the family business is in a good place, then you're going to choose A and all the answers that I will show you now. But if it's not in a good place, joining the business is unlikely to make things better. It's going to get things worse. So in fact, you should make these things better, make these relationships better, and then you should consider it. So just see A and B, and then you can see where you fit, and then choose for yourself if you're A or B, and write honestly amongst your answers that if you're A or B. If you have excellent communication, there is no fight at all. There is nothing like in my family. We've so good communication with each other that we are always in at home. We're only talking about leisure and all those things, personal things. And in business, we're only talking about business things. So excellent communication. But earlier we used to fight a lot. We used to really fight. So yeah, I would have been in B. So just be honest to yourself and write A or B next to your answer. And let's please launch poll number 4 and see what is the answer.
And guys, no judgment here again.
Yeah,
This is
nobody
a
will know what your
sensitive
answer.
matter. Yeah, this is a sensitive matter. Be very rational. Think through all the relationship that all the people who are in your business have with each other. Do you think that the relationships they have with each other are healthy enough? The relationships that you have with them are healthy enough? Because it's going to make a lot of difference when you decide to join the family business.
Yeah. So do we have any answers, Nehal?
Yes, again, very neck to neck on both the
Okay.
choices. Yeah.
Yeah, generally see that. I see mostly 9 votes we are getting. So there are 9 people who really have a family business and are contemplating if they should join or not. All right. So if we go to the next question, is this a real job? When you come into a family business, make sure it's for a real job, not one that has been made up only for you. You will find your work more valued when your career path is clear and you know what you have to do. Your roles are defined, your responsibilities are defined. We know of one family. For example, there were 5 sons, like cousins, basically chacha ka beta, tau ka beta, like aise karke. There were 5 cousins. They all almost joined during the same time, and they were all welcomed with a big salary, big family business. So some of the 5 really worked hard, and others spent partying and in leisure and a lot of different activities. So, what happened? People who were really working hard started looking at things like, why are they getting a salary? Or people who were not working really hard were like just always thinking, okay, kar raha hai na, ho jayega na kaam. So you need to know if this is actually going to be a real job for yourself. And this job is going to be defined for you, and a lot of different things need to be answered on the basis of that. So see A and B and decide which category do you fall in. So A means that you already have a role and responsibility defined. Your family is looking forward to having you. You also waited all these years to join your family business, and you think that you need a little more. Like you'll be your communication is great and everything will be great. So you fall in A. But B, like for example, one of my really good friends, he joined. We all graduated together, but he took a 1 month long vacation and then joined his family business. So it's totally okay. He's doing really well right now. It's been 5 years. So if you think about that, or if you think that it's a job only, we can go and come back anytime. I will go back and figure out after my education what to do. I don't know if my parents have any plan to induct me कि मेरे लिए कोई role and responsibility है भी या नहीं. मैं marketing संभालूंगा, engineering संभालूंगा, finance संभालूंगा, क्या करूंगा? So you fall in B. So just be honest to yourself and answer. There's poll number 5 that has been launched. Yeah. So I hope everyone has understood. Okay, we have B, and I can also see the results now. So I think we have more of B's here, Neil, right?
Yeah, we have
Amazing.
more of
So it's
these here.
totally normal. Whoever is answering, I see Manan, Aditya, and Shubham, and it's completely okay and whoever has answered B and people who are not answering and have answered A or B, whatever answer it is, wait, we will tell you how to actually debrief it. And if you have A or B, it's totally okay. I was at B when I was your age, and when I joined my family business, it took me time to then also become an A. So it's totally fine. We'll also tell you how to figure them out. So if we can move forward, uh, um, just keep all your 5 answers on the side. And please be sure of how many A's you have and how many B's you have. Just total them, and we'll move forward, and we'll come back to this and give you a fair idea of why we did this activity. And now, thank you so much. Now I'm going to hand it over to Nehal, and she's going to take this forward.
So, guys, where we left off, this is something that a lot of people question. You guys are at a stage where you have so many different opportunities in front of you, and this is often a burning question. Your family business is something that obviously is a good opportunity, but at the same time, it's something that people think that, oh, this is the easier way to go about, right? And I want you to even think about these things now, and let's debunk this myth, okay? Not just for you, but all your other friends who are in the room, right? All the other people who are not voting, who I think, might not have family businesses, they also get a reality check of what it is like to have one. So let's look at this picture and try to see, try to understand what do we see here. What are the words that come to your mind when you look at this picture? You guys are free to talk on the chat and tell me. You guys are free to unmute yourselves and talk live with us here.
I'll just ask, Manan, what do you see in this picture?
Yeah.
I just see a family expanding. A, a father has more sons. They
Mhm.
have expanding their family in this picture.
Amazing. Manan, what is your family business?
It's a manufacturing unit of plastic.
Yeah, you said, you told us. So sorry. Yes, amazing. I thought that was Shubham. So sorry. Okay, so Shubham, what do you see in this picture?
Okay, so first they were a nuclear family and then they expanded and like they were quite understanding at the last picture. They were
Mhm.
helping each other out and so yeah, that's what I see.
Okay, I'm gonna call out just one more name who doesn't have her camera on. It's Garima Goyal. Can I just see you and ask you what do you see in this picture if you're present with us? Hi, Garima. Okay, I think she's not. Anyway, Nehal, continue.
So I see someone writing on the chat, growing population, number of people increasing, the family becoming, from a very small nuclear family to now a big joint family that's, feasting together. Uh, these are all good things that we are thinking of, but think of it as all of these people living under one roof. Isn't it going to be chaotic compared to four people living under the same roof? There are going to be problems, there are going to be issues, there are going to be adjustments, right? That's the case with businesses as well. When you have a person, who is independent or not related to anyone else, he can operate in a manner where his decision or his, agendas can be dependent on his own views. But when you have a family, you have to consider everyone else's opinion, and they all might be different opinions, right? People of different ages and different perspectives, very rightly said Shubham. So there's often, this often leads to a lot of chaos, and family businesses are the first to suffer from this problem, because when you talk about a family business and compare it to a corporate, when in a corporate, if you have some disputes, if you have some problems, you have the opportunity to walk away, right? You can put your papers down, decide that I want to go to another company and this is not what I want to do. But when it comes to a family business, you really don't have that option. You cannot walk away from your family, right? So the adjustments are a lot more when you compare it to any other sense or, and any other form of businesses. And, surprisingly enough, if you look at these problems, I'll reveal some stats now that can actually, change the entire perspective you have about family businesses. So let's see that there are almost 100 businesses that start today. you know Only 30% of them go to their second generation. When I say second generation, it means that if today your father started a business, the chances of you being able to take that business forward, that means for it to be able to survive that long, that you come into the picture, only 30%. If you talk about that business going into the third generation, that means you passing it on to your own child, it's 12% of the businesses that survive, and only 4% make it to the fourth generation and beyond. So all the successful family businesses that you see that have come here at this point where you guys are contemplating if you should join the family business or not, kudos to you guys. Your business has been doing so well that it has lasted till this point, and it's going to last even for a long time. But also at the same time, understand how India is still very new to the concept of family businesses. Let's look at history. So family businesses started almost 30 years ago, right? Almost 30 years ago. Majority of them, on average, most of them started after independence, and average age is only 32 years. In 32 years, they've not even seen one successful transition. When I say transition, I mean that when your dad started the business, he worked really hard and now wants you to take over the business. When I say take over, it does not mean that you only start working, but you then fill his shoes, right? So that's something that's a big thing. It's difficult, it's time consuming. And India has had next to nothing, next to no experience in terms of these things because of the newness of family businesses. So the slim figure we are talking about 30%, 12%, about 4%, they are even smaller for family businesses in India because there's not enough infrastructure to support family businesses, not enough education to support next gens, right? And that's why it's important for you as next gens to understand what are these areas that you can work on and make sure that your business lasts longer. So for this activity, let's do one thing. Vinayak, can we go to the next screen? We'll read through a quick read. It's a 2-minute read, I promise you. Okay, and we'll identify two things. We'll identify the problems that a family business faces, that you and your own family business sometimes will face whenever you decide to join. And these are going to be the things that you will have to you will have to tackle as soon as you get there. Plus, what are the challenges of you joining the business? As a next generation, there are many issues that you will face when you join the business as well. Let's uncover some of those. So, Vinayak,
Thanks for listening.
yes. So we have a small case study. Let's read through this. Um, so Akshay, who's the person that we're going to be talking about today, is a second generation family business entrepreneur who's facing challenges to contribute to his 3-decade-old textile family business that his father and two of his uncles had started. He had joined the business 8 months ago, right after completing his BMS degree. That's his bachelor's degree. Although at first he was very excited about joining the company, lately he has been a little dissatisfied. Although the business has been doing well, the relationship between the father and son have deteriorated. So that is the setting, guys. Let's delve deeper and understand what's actually happening. Vinayak, can you scroll down? Thank you. So Akshay, now he's 23 years old. He's a commerce graduate who joined his father's business in 2019. It's a manufacturing and export business of fashion apparel in Mumbai. Ever since Akshay was a kid, he had been told that he would be a part of this growing family business. And I'm sure many of you have been told the same thing, right? Many of you have been told that you are going to be the one who's going to take the family legacy forward. You're going to be working with us and growing this organization. Similarly, Akshay had a very similar, upbringing. Looking at his two cousins who were already part of the family business, Akshay thought that he would fit right in. Although this was far from the truth, let's see what happened actually. The first day Akshay went to work, I wasn't done when thank you.
Sorry, sorry.
The first day Akshay went to work, he was made, director of communications, a very fancy title. And I'm sure all of you will also get some really good titles as soon as you decide to join. But Akshay was clueless what he had to do, with the burden of that role. Keen on understanding his role, he went to his cousins and uncle, but no one gave him enough time. And it was one of the busier months, so Akshay couldn't get help from anywhere. He tried to set up some meetings, thinking that maybe let's try to explore what I can do here. But he was nudged and he was told that, okay, please ask your father or someone else to come and talk to us. So he was dismissed. Vinayak, now you can scroll. Yeah, so he has set up a meeting with an agency to control the costs of exports, but he was told that, please ask your cousins or your uncles to discuss the matter. Akshay started researching about some of the competitors of his father's business and tried to pitch in those new ideas for the family business to remain competitive. But none of those ideas were implemented. You guys are going to join your family business. You will have a lot of creative ideas. You will want to pitch them, but there might be, a situation when people are not accepting of that idea. One of the following days, Akshay's uncle took the day off. She decided to help the team in packaging as the order had to be shipped out urgently that day. Although that order, although they shipped the order, but the client had a lot of complaints. Right. So, guys, one day his uncle was not there. He had to ship some order. He decided to go and help, but the client had many complaints. The order wasn't packed the way he wanted it to get packed. Just because that uncle didn't show up, the order was messed up. At home, Akshay's mom would tell him that he needs to work harder as she wants him to take over the family business and move it forward, and not any of his cousins. This is something that we see in a lot of family businesses when there are multiple people. People always want their child to kind of, be the next person leading the family business. And these are some internal conflicts that a lot of family businesses have. Akshay also attended one of the family meetings his father was having with the uncles. Um, and I come lost. Why did you move? Okay.
Here you are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and he wanted to give some opinions, but everyone had different opinions, and they could not come up with a sound decision. And in the next few days, he tried to go to his father for help. He felt very demotivated, wouldn't go to work, and spoke to his father for help. And his father said this one thing, which is that, it's okay, dheere dheere sab ho jayega. Like, he just gave him a pat on the back and like, it is something that you have to kind of go through. Everyone goes through it, and eventually everything will be okay, right? So this is just the journey of one next gen entrepreneur who decided to join their family business. I'm not saying that this is going to be the case with all of you, but this is a case of one of our students actually, who kind of told us all of these things. The name has been changed, but these are things and experiences that family businesses have. Just based on this simple understanding, we'll have a poll now. I want you all to let's start with identifying the problems of the family business. Okay. So all of the things that you read, think about what the family business as a unit was doing wrong. And this is
Ravi,
an MCQ question, so you can have
yes.
as many answers as you like, whatever you could identify, take all of them.
Ravi, please
Um,
launch the poll with problems for the family business. Ravi, why did you launch before I took? But anyway, now you can launch for uh, family business.
Ravi will launch the wrong poll.
Yeah, Ravi
Guys, so
launched the
let's
wrong
first
poll.
answer. Let's first answer the problems that the next generation. What problems was Akshay facing being a part of that business? Let's work on that. You can select as many as you think are right or wrong.
Yeah. No, and also Ravi, I asked you for multiple choice, but you put single. Sorry. Actually, I checked with Ravi right before the webinar. He said that it's multiple. Ravi, are you there?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, you
it,
mentioned right that it's multiple choice.
it was multiple.
It's okay, Ravi. Don't worry about it now. But okay, let's talk about all of these things, and maybe whatever you think was right. Let's understand if that was the situation. Vinayak, do you want to talk about the problems next generations face?
Yes, absolutely. Like everyone, I just see that the poll answers. I know people want to answer multiple, and really sorry, guys, that Ravi could not do it, and I'm sorry that I did not make him do it properly. But it's fine that. But I will just tell you that when we saw Akshay's story, there are so many things that we saw, and there were really problems, and you might face them, and I faced them, and Nehal faced them, and a lot of people face them. So as we saw that Akshay's ideas were not being accepted, and when a next generation joins, what generally happens is that they have all this energy, new ideas. कि यार अभी मैं engineering सीख के आया हूँ, मैं नया plant लगाऊंगा, मैं ये करूंगा वो करूंगा. They're just told to be quiet and listen and not do anything because there is so much already happening. And sometimes, like me, also this happened with the rejection is received repeatedly, which can be totally avoided by measures such as effective communication. I felt कि अगर मैं ढंग से बोलता और मेरे पेरेंट्स ढंग से सुनते so बहुत सारी चीजें बेटर हो सकती थी. So you need to know that as a next gen there is a lesser acceptance of next gen ideas, and that is what happens with Akshay. And this you have to be prepared for to communicate properly to your family and your previous generation and all those things. Then you have the second thing that I think a lot of people I see there are four votes for that is that there is no role defined, lack of preparedness, and no guidance path. So, this is one topic that is so deeply studied by a lot of people that there is no rule defined. When I joined my family business, there was not, I love my family business, but there was not a chair. I ordered my own chair after joining my family business. So, you understand that now I have a cabin, I have a good cabin, don't worry. But, it happens that rules are not defined, the guidance path is not there because they don't know how to, and they're also not wrong, they don't know how to do it. And that is how it happens around the globe. That पेरेंट्स एंड सीनियर जनरेशन आप ये समझो कि जिस बिजनेस को बड़ा करने में 30-40 साल लग गए देयर हैज बीन 30-40 years or 20 years of hard work. How can that be transferred in one day? So it needs some preparation, right? You need to have a proper path laid down for this transition to happen. So that is one challenge that you face. Then you have self doubt. जब आपके ideas reject हो रहे होते हैं ना, So there are multiple times when you feel, yeah, nobody cares about me. You get anxious about it. There's a lot of pessimism that is you are facing. You can question your own capabilities, competencies, and all those things that go against yourself. Your mind starts working against yourself. So that is one challenge that you will face as well, and that you might face. So please be prepared for that as well. And all this while you're doing these things, there is not going to be anyone who's going to tell you what to do and how to carve out your journey. So always make sure that you have some mentor and build a good relationship with your mentor and take their guidance, and then move forward with your mentor and the guidance and the transition training that you can take. And the most important that we talk about is interpersonal skills. Nobody voted for it. I think if it was a multiple choice, people would have voted. But interpersonal skills are very important. How you talk to your employees, because one of the biggest thing is, मेरे दिमाग में भी थी, and most of you might have it, is that the staff always thinks in your family business कि यार इसको तो सब मिल गया, ये आज आ गए हैं, ये अब हमें बताएंगे कैसे करना है, हम इतने सालों से मजाक कर रहे थे क्या. So that interpersonal skill, if you know, right, how to lead an organization, how to negotiate, how to talk to people, how to do all those things, know what your vision is, and how can you communicate that vision with everyone. Your interpersonal skills matter a lot there. So you need to be prepared with them as well, because that is one challenge that you'll face as well. So that's in a nutshell some of the challenges that you as a next gen will face, and Akshay also faced. So you need to be prepared with them. But there's a set of challenges that your family business is also going to face as a whole, not your senior generation, but the family business. You are next generation, you are the person who's going to take the business forward. But what happens to the family business? What are the challenges that your family businesses will face? Let's hear that from Nehal.
Let's also launch the poll, Ravi. Let's
Yeah.
see if people have identified some problems that the family business is facing.
Yeah, I hope that is a multiple choice.
So, guys, so you
No, this
see
is also
different
not a multiple
problems here,
choice.
and as we wait for polls, let's kind of talk through each of the points and see, what is happening. So, vision alignment, we saw in the case that uh, Akshay wanted to be a part of the meeting, and everyone had differing opinions, right? Everyone wanted different things out of the meeting. Everyone wanted different things out of where the business was heading, and this is often the case, right? You might be working with your senior generation, you might be working with new generation, your siblings, your other family members, and you will realize that sometimes a lot of them have differing agendas, right? And it is, if you don't work on making sure that that vision is aligned, there are going to be a lot of conflicts that come in the room, and that's where communication gets in. You give the opportunity for everyone to talk about things. In Akshay's case, we saw that there was no room, everyone was talking above each other. They were not giving anyone the opportunity to independently talk about their point, share their perspectives. That can be so chaotic. Let's talk about succession planning. So, guys, family business is a unit. Like this is something that I started off when I started talking, that you want it to kind of transcend not just your lifespan, but across generations, right? And if you don't plan for this generational transfer, it's not going to happen overnight. You might have seen so many cases where an emergency or an unfortunate event happened and a family business crumbled because it didn't have any other leader. It was just one man running the show altogether, and there was no other person who really know how to keep it together, right? This is something that's one of the biggest drawbacks of family businesses. Appropriate governance, this is again something that a lot of family businesses fail to do. How many times have you seen things in your family businesses being unorganized? How many times you see that people are responsible for things? We looked at Akshay's example. His uncle was not at work one day, and that had a negative impact on his orders and deliveries, right? So that uncle knew that this particular client likes his things in one particular fashion, but since he did not institutionalize that idea, since he did not communicate that idea to anyone, it was not possible for anyone to kind of replace that and replicate that once that uncle was out of the picture, even if it was for a temporary emergency. Embracing technology, we had in the case Akshay trying to talk about implementing new changes, looking at the competition. And sometimes family businesses are really complacent. They are so caught up in day-to-day work because of being so unorganized that they are not able to foresee new opportunities. They're not able to embrace technology. So these are all things because of which a lot of family businesses face problems. And as the statistics I spoke about, this is all of these things, the reasons about the next gen, the reason about the family businesses. These are some of the reasons that because of which family businesses end up, having these really small success rates, and they have a big threat to their survival. So let's move on from this, and we've covered that. Vinayak, let's go ahead.
Thanks for
Okay,
that.
let's go and understand, if you're ready for your family businesses or not, depending on all of the answers that you gave, Vinayak, towards the beginning of today's session. And then we will get to what that implication really means about you and what your next step should be. So, over to you, Vinayak.
Thank you, Nehal. Thank you. You rightly explained how the family business as a whole faces these challenges. Like I really like that challenge always that you tell that uncle was not there for one day, and the transfer was not such that that Akshay could not handle it for one day when uncle was not there. So that is why. So if you had you must have written down, you might have three A's, two B's, whatever you have. If you're mostly A's, you must have, some people must have had five A's. Then you are definitely ready to join the family business right now. If A is the majority of your answers. If B is the majority of your answers, you might want to take some time and evaluate if you should join your family business now or not. It's not like कि आप कर ही नहीं सकते, अभी कर नहीं सकते या कर सकते हो is what you have to contemplate. You can join your family business. Anyone can join the family business. You are made to join the family business. You are the next generation who has to take the growth in the future, be the enabler for growth, be the next change maker. But you might not be ready right now. So you need to prepare yourself. What do you do if you are falling in the mostly B's category? Let's have a look of how we can uh, see for both A and B and how you can take this forward. Over to you, Nehal.
So, guys, if you want to master the family business, if you want to really, get into it and really do well, there are people who get into the family business and as a lot of people think, lead a comfortable life, and then there are people who enter the family business and really change how the business has been operating, scale it to another level, and really disrupt not just their business but the entire industry. And one such example, all of us know of, is Mukesh Ambani. He was given everything, on a golden platter. It was a family business that he joined, but now he was able to scale up that business so much that even the founding generation did not have these ideas in their mind that it could go up to that level, right? And if you want to be successful, again, there is Ratan Tata, someone has written, okay, absolutely. There are so many people, I'm just talking about one of the, example that everyone knows about. There are so many, not just one. Do you guys, I'm sure you guys are college people, you know of LPU, right? Lovely Professional University. I'm sure all of you know. Did you know that that started as a small laddu shop? Imagine now they have students, from all over the world, global campuses, and they started from nothing, right? When they started that laddu shop, they had no idea they would venture into another industry altogether, create revenue streams like that go, beyond generations. And it's just something that sound sound bright leaders are able to do. So how do you become this leader and really take your business forward? Let's look at the 3P model. Okay, the first P is predict. You're at a stage where, as an outsider, you can understand what your family business industry is in, right? Yes, very rightly said, Aditya. But how do we do it is the question, right? So let's focus on that. So think about the industry that you're in, right? Where your family business is really, the market direction, where that industry is going, how the relationships, something that we spoke about extensively, during the quiz. How are the relationships with the people that you know? Is the business organized, unorganized? What are the expectations? And how can you prepare yourself? Once you know all of these things, preparing is going to be easy. But understand where the industry is going, understand what it is that you can do to do better. Okay, that's the first step. Let's go to the second step, Vinayak. Okay, so then we have preparing, right? As I mentioned earlier, India is still very new. India doesn't have adequate resources to train next gens, right? You have some family business courses that were only started 10 years ago, but since they're so new, they're often incomplete and don't focus on the holistic development of the next gens, right? So you, as the next gen, have to kind of make this decision for yourself and what are the skills that you have to master. So we developed this ideology working with renowned faculty from Harvard, MIT, University of Chicago, University of Columbia, even Indian institutions like SP Jain, NMIMS, ISB, and came up with this model that we call the three-pillar model. Essentially, what this reflects is how can you, as the next gen, be a better leader for not just a business but a family business, right? It focuses on three pillars. First is the personal leadership pillar. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. So, you guys are doing an amazing job working towards engineering, learning very good technical skills. But as a next generation, you also need soft skills. On the first day that you enter into your family business, you're going to be put up as a leader. You're not going to be treated as an employee, but as an employer. That's a training that a lot of next gens don't have. University schools are not doing the best job when it comes to talking about these relevant subjects and introducing you to the fundamentals of leadership. They don't help you enough in unlocking motivation and passion, building effective teams, influencing people, and building rapport. And this is what you're supposed to do, right? If you have good skills, you can make all of the different people that you're going to be working with, influence them, make them all work towards common agendas, right? And that's what a leader does, right? Let's go to the next pillar, which is the business leadership pillar. So as I discussed, earlier as well, that family businesses sometimes are complacent. They are so caught up with firefighting and everyday things that they don't have the time to think about long term, and that's where they miss a lot of opportunities. You, as the next gen, need to kind of change this approach. You have to make your business more proactive and not reactive, right? You have to predict these opportunities, work on making sure that you're able to kind of get the benefit out of these things and stay ahead of the disruption curve. Updating yourselves on how to professionalize family businesses, how to be agile in a market that's ever changing, growth and restructuring strategies, and attaining synergy of operational and financial goals is something you as a next gen really, really need. Lastly, this is something that most families think is one of the most crucial elements of a family business next gen. It's the family leadership. Also, something that a lot of a lot of professional schools and degrees leave out on because of the lack of knowledge that they sometimes have. One of the biggest challenges that a family business feels that is there to kind of threaten them exists internally. When I say internally, I mean that it exists between the family systems, the family relationships, the family problems. We had a lot of people saying that relationships sometimes are not healthy enough, right? It's the case for a lot of family business. You're not the first person to say that. And if kind of you don't work on making sure that these conversations and these conflicts are managed, it is going to threaten the performance of your family business. As I said that you don't have the option of walking away from a family business. So having to sit together and talk about these difficult topics is something that is very crucial. If you kind of master these skills, understand what are the problems that family businesses face, leverage the good points of family businesses. Again, this is something, if we go back to the statistics we discussed that Vinayak spoke about, where family businesses were performing better than non-family businesses, the differentiating factor between them was the family aspect. So leveraging this family aspect and reaping all the synergies that come out of it is something as an action you should be able to know how to unlock. You have family leadership and ownership, communication and harmony, retirement and succession, often a topic that's not talked about in India. A lot of the times people talk about people in the West talk about this. They know how the memorial, if I'm sure a lot of you follow like series and sitcoms, so you see how they're planning where they want to be buried, who they want to be buried next to, what they want the menu of their memorial to be like, who should be invited to the memorial. This is something that's treated as a natural process that people feel comfortable to talk about. If you raise this topic in India, everyone will look at you in a way where, oh my God, what is it that you're talking about? Although it's a natural process, it's just the way our culture is, right? But when it comes to a business, any unfortunate event can happen at any time. So you have to talk about these difficult subjects, address them. As a next generation, know how you can talk about these difficult topics and squeeze out all the good, all the good you can get from it. Finally, let's move on to the third and final P, which is progress. You've predicted all the good things that your family business has in store and started working on unlocking those. You've prepared yourself and mastered all the various pillars, understood everything, and now you have a path ahead of yourself. But this is going to be a rocky path, guys. You're gonna have a lot of challenges that come in the way. Even after mastering everything, it is going to be difficult. You're not going to find your feet in the family business on day one. On day one, neither Vinayak nor I was confident that we'll be able to grow this business. We faced a lot of challenges, and it was a really difficult road. And even today, as two people who are working on an initiative that is so centric to family businesses, we every day have our own internal issues with our own families and family businesses. So understand and make sure that you know that this is something that is okay. It is normal. It is an experience that is shared by every person who is a part of family business. Your ability is going to be put to test, right? You have to really give it your all, and never let your effort run short. If you ask a million people, how did they succeed, they will tell you about how they tried a million times, right? So make sure that you don't give up. Make sure that you're working on your family, and if you're working hard enough, your business eventually will go from a family owned to a family led business, right? There is a difference between the two, and I'm sure when you join your family businesses, you will know what the difference is. I strongly believe that family businesses are going to be the growth champions of the future, and they're going to take, they're going to be the leaders in the world. And I hope that people in this room today, people who I'm talking to, are the leaders of this change. They are able to push for a better community and ensure multi-generational sustainability for their family businesses. I wish you best of luck and thank you so much. Keep these notes and points, screenshot them, think about the pillars. If you want, we can go back to them. You can screenshot them, upgrade yourself, and be ready for this opportunity. Okay, you have an amazing thing that is in front of you. Imagine the kind of opportunity that you have starting from scratch versus starting from this amazing platform that you've been provided with. Leverage it and use it to the best of your capabilities. Best of luck to everyone. I will now leave the room open for questions. While we answer some questions, I'll move on to a video that we have. You can enjoy that, and at the same time, leave your questions in the chat.
So
Let's skip through
as
this, Vinayak.
yes,
Yeah. Guys, that was just a short summary. We have courses on our website, Family Next Gen. In case you're a Family Next Gen, please go look at those courses. We have a community of Next Gens. You can join that community, learn from each other, grow your own skills. And especially for students who have stayed so far, who've attended this session, we have a free course coming up on the 13th of this month. We have one of our mentors, Mr. Bob Kohli. He's from Dubai with significant experience in the family business realm. He's going to be talking about everything related to family businesses, what your problems and issues can be, how to get over them, how to really grow your family business, and all of these things will be covered.
it's
So
actually a
Vinayak has
paid
shared,
course. It's
yes,
actually a paid course. You will see it on our website. There's a certain way that how you can get it for free, and it's only free for people who attended this webinar from IIIT Sonepat. There's a coupon code that is being made for you. So if you follow the process that I posted on chat, which I'm again posting, you can go on the website link and register for it. The link is only valid till midnight today, and you will only be able to attend the event if you're registered for it. So if you do attend, after midnight, you'll have to pay for it if you want to come.
and we have only 20 slots. We see 27 people on the session today. So guys, register right now because they will close up very soon. Vinayak, while people are registering, let's wait for some questions that people might want to ask. You're on mute, Vinayak, I think. Guys, can you hear Vinayak, Manan?
No, he's muted. Sir, you're muted. Yeah.
Yes, now I am. Yes, I'll just now. I will just show you one video very quickly. It's a 30-second thing.
It's okay, Vinayak. I think there's some technical issues. The audio, I
No,
think,
no,
is not going to come.
no, I have it. It's going to come.
Okay. Okay. Guys, I see 10 people. No, 9 people have already registered from this room. So we have only 11 more spots left. In case you want to join in, know more about how you can grow your family business, what are the opportunities like, what are the problems and challenges like, go and register right now. We don't have many spots left.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my
Yes.
screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Vinayak, we can't hear anything.
Yes, sir.
But okay, relax, no problem. Let's move on to question and answers.
I'm sorry, I think it's because of Google Meet. I was not able to share my sound.
No problem, no problem.
Yes, so we generally get a lot of questions. Okay. Uh, so Harshit has asked us that how about small businesses? Is it worth to join them if you've not been so successful in the past? Neil, I would love for you to answer that because we get that question a lot and you answer it beautifully.
Um, Sorry, I was just busy doing something else. What about smaller businesses? Is it worth it to join them? Okay. So, Harshit, even if businesses have not been successful, you have an amazing foundation to start off from. But I will not start there. I will ask you what your personal motivations are. Okay. A lot of the times people join their family business because there's a lot of pressure of joining. And time again, we come across people who have been in the business for 5 years, 10 years, and one day they suddenly realize that they are not, they do not identify with the business. They feel so conflicted. They feel that they're not doing what they want to do, right? So the size of the business, if it's been successful in the past or not, that is not something that you should think about. It's still something that is a great opportunity. It's much better than starting from scratch, right? It's much easier for you to be able to scale up and grow. But really take this time to reflect, understand what your own individual values are. Often, what family business next gens don't do is they don't make this assessment that how their individual goals can be achieved within the family business, right? Make sure, and when I say individual goals, don't think about, okay, I want to get into this industry, my business is not in this industry, so this is not what I'm going to do. No, it's about what gives you happiness, right? Happiness in terms, I don't see Vinayak here, I think he switched off his camera, but for him, one of the things that he values the most in his life is acceptance, is being accepted, right? And he feels that in his family business, he is able to get the acceptance of a lot of people. He's able to grow because of that. And that's one of the reasons he's part of the business, right? For me, I am someone who really wants to work for myself. I am not someone who can work for other people, right? Because of that factor in me, I really feel very motivated to work for my family business. Even though there are other people that are working with me, even though there are elders that I work with who sometimes do tell me what to do, what not to do, I feel that there is an immense sense of fulfillment that I have. So understand what your priorities are and see if they can fit into your family business and then make a decision. Hmm. Okay, we have a question from Manan. Vinayak, do you want to answer that?
Yes, absolutely.
As yeah,
So
as
as you know
you.
that plastic is
Hmm.
being tried to be replaced by, but no one knows with whom. If you look at
Hmm.
government guidelines, they're trying to ban plastic with the next 3 to 4 years. What should this industry do? Both who consume plastic packaging materials and those who manufacture it. So, Manan, I have a friend who manufactures plastic polybags, and I think it's 50 micron, right? That you need to follow above 50 micron. If it is, then the government has allowed it. So there are many, many guidelines. So there are many industries. So you need to understand that in terms of the government policies, they will never ban an industry overnight because there are so many jobs associated with it. But as long as it is with respect to you being the next change maker and what should you do when you join your family business, you can have multiple things that you can do. Now, for example, we had somebody who made paper and paper products. So now that we see, and paper products for bills and all that are printed and printing press with mainly paper. So now that we see every bills and all going digital, we see that that person asked us. So that person started working on an online billing platform, and that is how they evolved in their own family business. So like that, you can think of a lot of things that how you can evolve with the experience that your senior generation has, with the new skills that you bring in, you communicate them properly to them, align the vision that you have for your family business and how a plastic industry can evolve, explain it to them, use their experience, work with them with proper governance and structures in place, and have your own leadership skills, and it will be very easy for you to evolve in this family business. Nehal, you can add if you want to add.
Yeah, so Manan also, we worked with one of the next gens a couple of, years ago, where they were into, they were into single-use plastic. And single-use plastic has, obviously been banned, and even in India, there are areas where it's still banned, right? So they very sustainably realized this problem and started shifting towards, multi-use plastics, more sustainable plastics. They actually invested in an entire research team that could come in, look at their products, tell them what is the next thing that they should work on with all of the same existing material, right? When you are in an industry where you see that things are changing very quickly, or there are a lot of new entrants and new competitors coming in, often what a lot of companies do is they invest heavily in research. They take it, and I call it an investment, not an expense, because often a lot of companies look at this as a problem and they feel that, okay, I'm going to be short of cash in the short run, but this is more of a long term problem, right? Eventually, single use plastics and all of these things are going to get banned. They are banned, from half the world, and the rest of the world will follow suit. So make sure that you're constantly working on upgrading and doing better. Like Vinayak said, there are other options. There are obviously your capabilities that come into play here, but never think that just because things are getting banned or things are changing, that is a threat to your business. It's an opportunity that's knocking at your door. Tupperware is a brand that is doing extremely well in multi-purpose, multi-use plastics, right? You wouldn't know, but they started off as a brand that was doing single-use plastic for a while, right? So they actually realized this opportunity, shifted it. So it's now turned for all of the other brands, right? You are, I think, manufacturing for other people. So for you, it's going to be easier because you don't have to look for a market or create for a market. You have to identify what's going on in the industry and see who you can pitch to. You're going to have all the basic, infrastructure that you need. It is just you have to look at a new segment to target now. I hope that answers your question. We have Shubham asking us, how do we communicate better with family? Um, what if we have different values and principles, and how to overcome this problem? Vinayak, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So basically, how do we communicate better with family? Communication can solve 99.99% problems of yours, and just like Dettol, nobody uses it. So communication is something that is very, very important in a family. And how can you make it better? You need to start talking. Number one, you need to start talking. And while you're talking is when the next steps roll in. When you're talking to your family, you need to tell them what sort of communication, what sort of words make you feel a certain way, and what sort of words make you feel another way. Now, for example, I can clearly tell my mother or my father that if you say this or anything on these lines, that really makes me feel anxious about that, and मैं बहुत टेंशन में आ जाता हूँ. तो उनको समझ आ गया कि चलो इससे इस तरीके से बात नहीं करनी है. मुझे समझ आ गया इसी तरीके कि मैं क्या बोलूंगा जिससे मेरे पेरेंट्स को गुस्सा आएगा, तो मैं वो बोलता ही नहीं, मैं दूसरे तरीके से कम्युनिकेट करता हूँ. So the best thing about communication is that you can mold it any way possible, and you should mold it in a way that is more accommodating for the other person. So once you start that, you will see that your parents will follow 100%. That is true. So it is a gradual process. We always tell people it is a marathon, not a sprint. आप चाहो कि एक दिन में कम्युनिकेशन बेटर हो जाए, कल से सब एकदम प्यार से बात करेंगे, सबके फेसेस स्माइलिंग रहेंगे, वो नहीं होगा. जहाँ प्यार है वहाँ एक्सपेक्टेशन है और वहाँ लड़ाई है. बट कम्युनिकेशन हर चीज सॉल्व कर देता है. सो बेटर कम्युनिकेशन इज दैट be the change you want to see in the world, and start with yourself. Start communicating properly and you'll see repercussions. धीरे 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 सारी चीजें चेंज होने लगती हैं, है ना. हम लोग सबको ये चीज बताते हैं. I'll give you an example. It is, sorry Nehal, I'll take some more seconds, but कितने लोगों ने यहाँ पे जिम जाना ट्राई किया है? हम सब इंजीनियरिंग में सब एक बार तो ट्राई करते ही हैं जिम जाना, ठीक है. कौन कौन एक्चुअली बॉडी बनाने में सक्सेसफुल हुआ है, मतलब देयर इज नो पैरामीटर ऑफ सक्सेसफुल, बट कौन कंसिस्टेंट रहा है बॉडी बनाने में, मतलब या जिम जाने में कंसिस्टेंट रहा है।
यहाँ पे कोई अपना कैमरा ऑन कर सकता है, लाइक इन केस
हाँ, अगर
आई
वो
विल।
कंसिस्टेंट रहा है। सो आई विल टेल यू, बट आप लोगों ने दूसरों को तो सक्सेसफुल लोगों को तो देखा होगा ना, जिम में जाने वाले सक्सेसफुल लोगों को। तो जिम में जाने का क्या होता है कि जिम में जाना कोई स्टार्ट करता है, 1 महीना जाता है, 1.5 महीना जाता है, उसको कोई प्रोग्रेस नहीं दिखती। हम लोग कभी कभी मजाक भी उड़ाते थे इंजीनियरिंग में अपने दोस्तों, यार तू 1 महीने से जा रहा है तो कुछ फर्क तो दिख नहीं रहा हमें, क्या हुआ। बट एकदम से हमें दिखता था ओवरनाइट 2 महीने बाद कि यार एकदम से इसकी बॉडी बन गई, एकदम से बाइसेप आ गए, एकदम से चेस्ट बाहर निकल गई। तो वो एकदम से नहीं निकली है, वो जो 2 महीने उसने मेहनत करी ना, दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंड, एंड देन दैट प्रोसेस बिकम्स एक्सपोनेंशियल, एंड जो ग्रोथ 2 महीने में होती है, सेकंड से थर्ड मंथ में उससे 10 गुना एक साथ हो जाती है 1 महीने में। ये देखो हमारे सामने रवि बैठा है अपनी ब्लू वेस्ट में एकदम डोले दिखाते हुए अपने, है ना। सो मैं पहले ही देख लिया था रवि, मैंने नाम नहीं लिया आपको, है ना। सो बट दिस इज एक्चुअली व्हाट हैपेंस विद कम्युनिकेशन एंड फैमिली बिजनेसेस। आप जब नेक्स्ट जेन की तरह जाओगे ना, इट इज अगेन टेलिंग यू नॉट अ स्प्रिंट। ये नहीं कि आज जाते ही सारे आइडिया देने, कल इंप्लीमेंट करो, परसों बिलियनर बन जाओ, नहीं, धीरे 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 होएगा। धीरे धीरे आपको रिजल्ट्स भी दिखेंगे जैसे जिम वालों को दिखते हैं, है ना। सो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन मेक योर कम्युनिकेशन बेटर इन द फैमिली. You will have different values and principles, Shubham, always. No two people are the same. No two people are perfect. No one is perfect in this world. So you will always have with your girlfriend, wife, family, brother, sister, दोस्त, हर किसी के साथ आपके conflicting values, principles होंगे लाइफ में कभी ना कभी. It's how you deal with them and how you communicate. And communicate करना तो मैंने आपको बता ही दिया है, और उन principles को deal कर लो. So I hope I answered your question.
Okay, I see a thumbs up from Juam, so he's happy. I see a question from Aditya, who, he's asked a very interesting question. With the rise of individualism, the concept of family itself will become irrelevant in the upcoming decades. Just like tribes became irrelevant when government took over, providing essential supplies. Smaller groups like families came about as a result. So, what if concepts of family become obsolete in the future? Just asking. And a little smiley is left. Okay. So let's walk down history, Aditya, and talk about families and how they've changed. So earlier, families used to be big families, with multiple people. Even in the 20, 30 years that there's the difference that exists between my father and his father, this change has happened, right? Now we're two people. Okay, two people being a part of the family business. Just imagine, right? My father is working, my grandfather is working in the family business, plus me and my sister. Okay, then I have my mom also working. So it doesn't matter if your business is big or small. Eventually, it's going to get complicated anyway, right? Think about me having kids in the future, them wanting to join the business. My sister having kids in the future, wanting to join the business. The business goes from, siblings to cousins consortium. And this is something that's ever evolving. You are talking about an opportunity that you don't think is going to only last for the next 5, 10, 20 years. When you talk about family legacy, you keep in mind that you want this business to go on not for 10 years, but for 100 years, but for 1,000 years, right? You're going to have more and more people. Family units can shrink. You have China, where, there are only, like, there's only one child. But even then, like that child is going to have one child, then you have different generations working together. That's where the problems arise, right? All the generations being able to work together. That's where problems occur. If you're able to manage these problems, if you're able to streamline everything, that's going to help you make sure that that business lasts longer. And let's not even talk about China. Let's come closer to home. I saw Aditya. I think it was you who was very excited about Ratan Tata. Ratan Tata,
Yeah.
comes from a family legacy, Tata Group. Now he doesn't have a kid, right? He's facing so many issues. He gave it to someone else, and then had to again take control of the company, right? These are issues that come in every company, right? They are trying to get more professionalized. They're trying to sort out things, but still, it has a very strong family unit. Let's talk about Walmart. Walmart is a family run company, right? They have like 5 family members who started the company. Sorry, one family member, the father, and then 5 siblings who joined the company, and now it's a cousin consortium. We have BMW. Like, these are all companies that are example of successful family businesses that have been able to keep family aside and work on the growth of the business. When you work with family, when you live with family, we all know of so many issues that come up, right? When you're working with them as well, there are many more issues that come into the play. The way things have been going around, the way, when you overly rely on family members. You have a question you wanted to ask, Aditya. I'll take it. Go ahead.
Okay, so talking about the Tata Group, what's going to happen to the Tata Group after Ratan Tata?
Sorry, I didn't hear your
Because he
question.
doesn't have a family, and okay, so Ratan Tata doesn't have a child. So
Yeah.
what's going to happen to the Tata Group after
So
after
that's what
Ratan
they're
Tata?
going towards. They're trying to make it a corporate, right? But that's what we're saying. That you can be a corporate, you can decide to jump in and be a corporate, work in that way. But the performance of family businesses operating with a family unit, being controlling family businesses has been more successful. This is not something that I am saying. This is what stats reveal. If you compare, like Vinayak said, of top 50 companies that are listed on the stock exchange, 50% of them are family controlled. If you double the number, so instead of 50, look at 100, right? 75% of them are family controlled. So you see that there is an incremental rise in, how successful the businesses will be if they are family businesses. So definitely it's not like it's going to be the end of the Tata empire because Ratan Tata doesn't have, an heir. They're going to make it into a corporate. They're going to have, trust funds in the name of the Tata family where they're going to reap benefits, but it's going to work in a manner where it's a corporate. And corporates, in you go and, even research about big fours and big threes and all these companies, they are not older than 20, 30 years combined. And talk about Tatas, Ambanis. These people have legacies that have been going on for years, right? There's a reason
Yeah,
for
but
that is family. The reason for that is not, so in case they want, they can definitely go to a corporate. It's not the end. Yeah.
any family business, even if it has a history of hundreds of years, if the
Mm-hmm.
current heir decides that I am not going to start a family, then the tag of a family business, it doesn't have, it can't hold on to the tag of being a family
Aditya,
business.
Aditya, do you have what family business do you have?
He
None.
doesn't.
I was
Okay,
just asking.
okay,
No, no, it's
no
okay. You
problem.
can ask. You can ask it. It's okay. See, the decision of you having a family or not having a family is not what we're talking about today. If you have someone who doesn't want to join the family business, is as good as not having, a next heir.
Mm.
So we are not debating that. We want someone, we are talking about someone who understands this responsibility, who acknowledges this opportunity. If you're not that person, then definitely this is not something for you. But if
Yeah,
you feel that, okay, you want to contribute to your family business, I'm not talking about you, like, anyone in this room. If you're talking about, whoever sees this opportunity, who understands these problems and issues, it is something that's an option for them to grow their career. You can very well decide to not have it, and then you'll have to make it a formal setting, and make it into a corporate. That's
yeah.
that's what you can do. But in
Okay.
case you want to be more successful, work towards making it a family business.
I have a
Okay.
question for Aditya. One second. Aditya,
Okay.
what if you plan to start your own business and then you get married and then you have kids, and will you not pass it to your child and just give it to somebody random or maybe close it down because you don't want it to become a family business?
I don't want it to become a family business. Maybe a more talented person should take over, and it doesn't really have to be my child.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But if your child is capable enough and your child is actually the right fit for your family business, you will still not want him or her to be part of your family business. Am I correct?
No,
Okay, but if they're the right fit, you'll be able to have them. Okay, no problem. I'll leave the answers to
I
you,
don't know.
and we can move forward. Can you please mute yourself? Because there's a lot of disturbance coming from your end. So sorry. Hello.
So we have another question, which I'm not really able to comprehend what the meaning of this question is. That, ma'am, what about a business like supply of masks these days? May we start a setup with current studies, or should we wait for BTech? Not able to comprehend what this really
So,
means.
Gaurav, if you can please unmute yourself
Yeah.
and tell us what you mean, because I have a mask. I don't know what your question is. I'm sorry.
He's not in the meet, I guess.
Okay. Is anyone
Okay.
able to understand his question and can explain us, and you can answer him later for on our behalf?
I think he wants to ask that can we start a business in which we can supply trade in masks while doing BTech, or should we wait and complete our BTech? Means should we
Okay.
complete studies?
Oh, okay, like a startup. So, okay, got it. But don't you think that, so anyway, see, talking about starting a new business is altogether a different conversation. But just 2 cents if I can give is that do your market research. पहले पता करो कि are there enough people who are manufacturing masks already or not, and उनको मैच करती हुई डिमांड अभी है या नहीं. अगर डिमांड कम है, डिमांड ज्यादा है और सप्लाई कम है तो बिल्कुल लॉन्च करो. आपके एरिया में है, इंटरनेशनली तो नहीं है. देखो बहुत मास्क बन रहे हैं, जगह जगह मास्क मिल रहे हैं. बट अगर आपके एरिया में है, यू वांट टू स्टार्ट अ स्मॉल गिग ड्यूरिंग योर स्टडीज एंड यू वांट टू जस्ट अर्न समथिंग ऑन द साइड, गो अहेड. अगर डिमांड है तो, नहीं तो कोई फायदा नहीं है करने का. हाँ, 2020 में अप्रैल के महीने में अगर आप मुझे बोलते that you want to start a mask business, I would have said go ahead, make 10,000 masks, I'll buy from you. Otherwise, because I'll sell them. But now I don't think like according to me, my market, if your market allows, please Karf ko bata dena, he should go ahead. Otherwise, wait for your BTech to get finished. You will get a lot more ideas and work on different ideas. And if you have a family business, look forward to join it and taking the legacy forward. So I
Thank
think that is
Great.
all for our questions.
you.
I
Yeah.
will again tell you, it's till midnight that you can sign up for the course. Even if you are friends who have family businesses and did not attend and are from IIIT Sonepat, please ask them to sign up for the course. It is a paid course. It is by a mentor who is a family business consultant from Bain and Company, and who has had
And you're
experiences with
getting it for free. I think you mentioned
completely
paid
for
course.
free. Yeah, so I'm going to actually post the
So I,
details again on the chat.
yeah,
So please sign up and ask your friends to sign up. It's you're going to also there will be other people from other universities, people who've paid for this course, people who are a part of family businesses. So there is a lot of networking that is going to happen on this course as well. So do sign up, and it is going to be a value-driven session, and you're going to get a lot of value out of it for completely free of cost, which is actually a paid course.
I
So
see
looking forward
13
to seeing you
people
there.
have already signed up. So we have like 5 to 7 spots that are remaining. Manan, can we also share it on the group that you have so that, people who want to sign up don't miss out on the opportunity?
Yes, sure, sure.
And I'm
Wonderful.
also posting that if for any further queries, how can you connect with us? We have our Instagram and LinkedIn, guys. Do follow us on Instagram. If you want to click a picture of the screen, I will smile and you can put a story and tag us at kinenkit.in. And you can follow us on LinkedIn. You can send connection requests to me and Nehal. You have any problems, talk to us. We'll be your mentors through your journey, and we can guide you, we can help you. We help a lot of next generation entrepreneurs. We've helped more than 200 plus next gen in the last 1 year with different techniques and carve out their own journeys personally and through our courses as well. Our number and our email address is right there as well. Drop us a message, drop us a mail. We'll keep it anonymous. You don't need to worry. We'll not judge you. You can share anything with us. People share very deep stories and a lot of things which they cannot share with anyone else, because we understand it's family that we're talking about. So you can be completely anonymous. So you need to share bilkul aram se, feel free, and do follow us on Instagram. You get a lot of content that is family business related, which will help you in journey as well for free. We post blogs, we post reels, post videos, and a lot of different things, and you'll always be up to date with all our content. Uh, Thank you so much for attending our session. If there is any other last thing, Mana, I think you want to speak something.
Yeah, I would request everyone to please switch on their cameras so that we can have a picture.
Thank you, Manan.
Ravi sir, yeah.
यार पिक्चर पहले ले लेते.
रवि यार ऐसे करके दिखाओ, करो यार.